Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to master two of the most powerful functions in Make.com, filters and routers. So these features are going to help you create smarter, more efficient automations. So let's talk about filters. Filters are the equivalent of gatekeepers in your automation. So they decide which information goes and which information does not go to the next step. Here's when to use filters. Let's say you're monitoring emails, but you only want to process emails from certain clients. So you could add an email filter if the email contains XYZ, a specific domain or name. Or if a contact, let's say from the CRM, contains in the tags the tag purchase to know which leads purchased. That is an example. Those are examples of filters. Now, it's very simple to set up a filter. It's very simple to set up a filter, okay? The way you set up a filter is in the range here between one module and another. You can click on set up a filter and then you can put what the conditions are. When you click on the conditions is going to give you all the information from the previous modules. So in this case, let's just say we only want leads where the email exists. So we can select email from the past module, which is the webhook, and then exists. That's an example, right? And it's best practice to label the label of the filter. That's a quick example of doing it. Now, I'm going to be showing you. Now, you can add multiple conditions to the filter. For example, you can do email exists and also I want leads where the phone exists. So in this case, you have two conditions for the filters. Now, let's talk about how to use routers. So routers are very similar than filters because they use filters, but the difference is that routers can route a piece of information to one branch or another. So while filters are about stopping or continuing, routers are about choosing different paths. A router splits your workflow into multiple branches and you can send data down different paths instead of different conditions. You can send the data down different paths based on different conditions. Imagine it like a fork in the road. Instead of one route, you have now multiple routes. To add a router, all you have to do is you will need to click on add and then click on flow control. All tools, flow control, and then router. And then automatically your route is going to split into two. If you want to add more than two, you can click on the plus here on the green wheel and keep adding more and more. In this case, I'm not adding this router, but I'm just showing you how to do this. So I've already set up this router with two different routes. This route over here is sending leads where the tag does not contain purchase. That means they are leads. In that case, we're sending those leads to a specific Slack channel called 50 statewide leads opt-in. In the different route, in the different branch, the tag contains purchase, okay? The tags of the contact contains purchase. That means those are leads who have purchased our product. In this case, we're sending them to a different Slack channel. So they both do almost the same thing. The only difference is one sends to one Slack channel and the other branch sends the leads to a different Slack channel. Now, I'm going to make a very important clarification here. If you want any of the routes to be the fallback route, that means a backup route that is used if the source data doesn't go through any other route, you can click on yes, and then the icon is going to change. You can see that the type of arrow changes a little bit, signaling that this branch is going to be the fallback route. That's only if you want a specific route to be as a fallback. On the other hand, you can also disable a route. For example, if we don't want this route anymore to exist, but we want to keep the module, we can click on disable route, and in this case, the route is disabled. Now, I'm going to show you a more advanced use case of routers. So in this scenario, we have multiple leads coming for different clients, and we want to filter the leads based on what advertiser they are. So in this route, we have multiple routes. In this router, we have multiple routes. By the way, you can have up to 40 branches according to the latest Make documentation, up to 40 branches per router. So we have very, very many here. So we have one branch that, as you can see, has no conditions. It has no filter because we want all leads to have these search contacts. And then we have another router where if the contact doesn't exist, based on total number of bundles, then we create a contact, and if the contact exists, then we update the contact. You can see that the other branches are based on advertiser ID. So if the advertiser ID is this number, it belongs to this client. And then this happens. We create an item in their Monday board. For other clients, for example, this client has this advertiser ID. We're sending the data via Zapier with all the pieces of information. For other clients, for example, we are sending leads to this bold trail, and then we're sending notes and add a tag. So this is a more advanced example, but at the end of the day, the core function is the same thing. In this case, for example, we have this branch where if the sold price, we're not filtering anymore by advertiser ID. If the sold price is greater than 0, we're gonna create a Hyros, create a lead, and then create an order in Hyros. Those are just some examples that I can think of to show you how filters and routers exist in Make. And that's it. Now you know how to use filters to control data flow and routers to create multi-paths automations in Make.com. These tools are going to take your automations from simple to sophisticated. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more automation tutorials like this.